All right, what up everybody? Today we are going to be doing a Rottweiler ram air intake system on this 2011 KTM RC8R. Has a 2014 motor in it, about 3,200 miles. And we've got the kit, so since we're on quarantine lockdown, figure we're bored, let's go ahead and install it. Now these work on pretty much every KTM. There's really no difference other than obviously than the R model versus the 8 model. Like I said, this is an 11. It's got the orange wheels with a 2014 motor in it. Pretty basic, simple procedure here. I just didn't see any videos out there on YouTube, so figure why not do one. I've already got the seat cover off, as this does have a race body work on it, so it's going to be a little more simpler for me than if you have street fairings on it. But basically we're gonna take the 2 bolts out of the top there and the bottom, get the tank off, and we'll walk you through step by step. Now here's what I ordered. Comes in the box. We've got your plate there, and we've got that bottom plate there. And we've got the filter, obviously. We'll go through all that. I've got some extra stuff here in the box, and that is going to be, I'll explain that later. And what else we got? We got the foam that came with. Put that down here. What else we got in here? Some basic other little stuff that comes with it. Doesn't really come with instructions. They tell you to go on their site. This is just how to do the air filter, how to oil it. Yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take this nut off right here, which I believe is a T45, and then we'll take these 2 off right here, which I believe is a I think those are 2 T30s. We're going to take that off, take this one out. Same thing, it's going to be a T30, and then pretty straightforward. You're going to disconnect your fuel line under here, right here. And then you'll have two other connectors in here that you'll undo, and you can take off the vent lines as well if need be. So yeah, let's go through that whole process. We'll get it off, and then we'll go from there. Do the disconnect the fuel line right here. Pretty easy if you have a quick disconnect. If you haven't upgraded the one, you really should. Makes life a lot easier, and the plastic ones from KTM are known to break. Alright, now as you pick this up, you're just going to take off these little hoses right here, disconnect those. You're gonna have 2 plugs under here. Now you're gonna have this white one right here. You're just gonna pop that one, and then this black one right here.
I got black on black apparel on me, girl. I know you see me lurking. Yeah. On some L'Oreal shit, I know you worked it. You a head case, baby. Wonder where you learned it. Looking for a student, I be perfect. Yeah.
All right, now the next step is you want to take these out right here.
Perfect. Yeah.
Alright guys, so we got our airbox off. We're just going to remove these guys right here. They just slide off into place. Set them over here for now. We're just going to kind of mock this up, see how it fits, which I've kind of already done, and we're just going to talk about a couple issues here. So as you can see, this base plate is basically going to go right there, matches up with all the screws. And then your next plate, now here's a little issue that I've run into. You got your plate here. Now it looks like you can go either way, right? But the thing is obviously you want the R facing this way. Now I'm just going to show you both ways here. If I put it on like this, we run into this problem right here. So that's not the right way. So we're going to turn this base plate around, slides under there. Now here's the other issue, is this part here hits this right here, right? There's no room for it. So now I could shove it down like that, and then as you see, that sits like that. So then trying to get the velocity stacks back on, this one will go on, but this one's not going to go on here. So what's going to have to happen is I'm going to have to cut a little part of this out right here in order for this to sit down in there flush. So this will sit here. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to get that velocity stack back on there. So let me figure that out and we'll come back. Hey guys, so this is what I ended up doing. Literally took me like, I don't know, 30 seconds. I would normally probably just use a Dremel, but I didn't have one because I didn't realize nothing about it said we'd be doing any cutting. So all I did was, this is plastic, pretty easy. I just took some wire clippers actually and just cut the plastic top off right there, and then took some pliers and just bent it back, and it snapped right off, just plastic. So took that little bit off right there, and now as you can see, we can put that in and it sits a little better. Actually, I think we're gonna have to take this little edge off right there.
See, it's nice and even, and it's good.
What are we missing here? Where is this not sitting?
Oh, there's a bottom piece.
So not only that, it looks like we could probably try and bend this forward. Looks like this whole piece right here, we're gonna have to take that out as well, because that's sitting on it right there too. What a pain in the ass. So that whole thing's gonna have to go as well. So took a whole little chunk out there, and voila, fits in there nice and flush. Sits just like that.
This is what pops out with the little ones.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay. All right, next let's take the base plate there. Let me see there. Put that on. We're just gonna prefab all this up. That's basically gonna get screwed in there. This big hole right here is for your breather right there, the crankcase, and that we're going to talk about later. Now, a lot of guys will use that U-joint still, and you can fab something up. Don't just leave it open, because the oil is going to spill in there. It's going to make a freaking mess. It's going to leak down here. You don't want that. Now, there's a different couple ways to do it. Some guys run it to the back here, some hose with a filter. What I'm going to do is I just went to auto parts store, got some nice hose here, and then I bought a air oil separator right there, and then let it vent to this, which I got from Rottweiler. Alright, so we got our plate on. Now we put our velocity stacks on, but what you'll see is your package comes with these two little guys, and I'll explain that here, why those are there. So if you twist those on, and if you don't use these, here's what happens, right? Got a lot of rattling around, so we don't want that. So let's take that off. We'll set those here. Take this guy off right here. Now I'm going to put these on under here. It's just what makes sense to me. Let's see how that works. Right. All right. Get that on there. Move this out the way here. All right, we got that on there. Now we're gonna screw, and those will fit on there nice and tight. You'll just click those in. There we go. Much better. There we go. Let's get those pushed out a little bit. Get those to snap in. There. There's that. We're gonna oil this up later in a minute, just for we're just gonna fit it up, make sure it fits nicely. These are just gonna snap right in there. Like so. And then you've got this one back here. It just snaps right in there. Like that. That's pretty much that. So, like I said, we still gotta oil this. We'll do that here a little bit later, but we're just gonna fit it up right now, make sure everything fits correctly. All right, so they give you 8 new little screws here. You can see they're a whole lot different. So I'm gonna put them in to see how they do, see if I like them or not, or if I'm gonna use the stock ones. So let's just see how they hold up. I'll put them in and see if I like them. If not, we'll go back to the stock ones here. got those all in there now, and I kept with what came with the kit. They actually worked pretty nice. You just gotta line them up, keep them straight, put them in. I just finger tight, as I didn't want to strip them, but they all worked pretty nicely, and honestly probably a little better than those stock screws that came with it. So now we're gonna take the foam, get it on there, and we'll go from there.
Faded off the sand, you be sneaking. Tell me where you be at in the nighttime. Baby, hit me on that lifeline. Shawty, make that booty bounce, make it count. Can you flip it like I flip a half an ounce to a pound? Bring a friend too, I know you're better looking, but she down. I'ma hit it at the stadium when you get on the mount. I'ma let you wear my chains too, baby, you allow. I know I be in my game when I'm tweaking off the loud, yeah. Elevated with the...
Alright, so looking underneath the tank here, I can kind of see the gap in the back, a little bit of gap there. So we're going to build that up, which I'm assuming is what that's for. Alright, so we got all that together. Looks pretty good, looks like it fits up nice and neat. Now we're going to talk about the crankcase breather and what I'm doing for that, okay? So basically I just went to the auto store hose here. We're going to fit it up, mock it all up, and find a good place for it. Alright guys, so all I did for the crankcase breather is take some hose here, connect it to that, and make sure that stays a little piece there. There's a clip that keeps it clipped in there. Ran to that, to another connector, through some hose here, and just ran it to a oil air separator, and then vented it out. And just tuck it under here, clean it up, and then that's pretty much it. I still got to oil this, which we'll do next, and then we'll put the tank back on, which honestly in this whole process will be the biggest pain in the ass. And actually I'm probably going to block that off right there since I'm not using it. I'm just going to block that hole off with something, maybe some styrofoam right there. Might just put it there, tape it off. Alright, so we got our filter nice and oiled up there. Now the next part is we're going to put the tank on. If you don't know about these tanks, they are plastic and they like to swell, so getting this tank on is going to be a real bitch. One of the easiest things I found is getting it on and then undoing the subframe bolts here, and basically we're going to move it back. We're going to get the tank on, put these two bolts in, and then screw it in where it goes here, and then we got to try and shove the subframe back in. One of the easiest ways I found is get the tank on, and then what I do is run a ratchet strap over it, strap it down, and then get the bolts, the holes lined up, and put the bolts back in. It's quite the process. So I'm gonna skip ahead of all that, and by the time I get it all done there, you'll see it. We'll start it up and see how it looks and runs. All right guys, so we got it buttoned back up, got the tank on there. Pretty sure I don't have to tell you how to put your bike back together, so I didn't film that part. But got it back together. We'll start it up here, make sure I did everything correctly, right? All right, here we go. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. Buttoned it up. Took it for a quick little test ride. Honestly, it's not something I can notice a huge difference on right off the bat. If you're really listening closely, you can kind of hear the difference. Obviously, some concerns with it is you're going to get a bunch more crap. All that crap's going to be in the box area. So this is something you're really going to have to be comfortable with, taking the tank off, cleaning it, checking it. You know, it's meant for the track, obviously, but I like to ride around town as well. So I'd say probably every few weeks or so, or after some hard riding, I'd probably take it off, check for pebbles and shit like that, and clean it, and just follow the instructions that come with the as far as cleaning it goes. But otherwise, pretty simple, man. yeah, probably get it on the dyno tune. I think before this we just dynoed it. Like I said, it's a new motor, 2014 motor. It had about 2,400 miles on it when we put it in. Done a few track days on it since. Went down to Vegas in November and we dynoed it down there, just throwing it on a dyno. I think it put down about a 155, I believe, 154, right around there, with no tune on it. So yeah, we'll get it. Obviously also, you know, Vegas is close to the sea level than up here in Denver, so we'll throw it on the dyno and see what she's putting down. And yeah, that's it, man. I hope this is helpful. I know it's not super in depth on every little bit of thing, but pretty straightforward, simple little setup, man. Hope it helps, and enjoy. Later.